How is everyone doing?
All good.
So Camila is currently in vacation days, so that's why I handle all of this. So this is Eric, and Eric, this is Aditya. He is the one who is going to interview you. So good luck, Eric.
All right,
Bye,
awesome.
guys.
Thank you. See you.
Bye.
Thank you, Maria. Hey, Eric.
Hey there. How are you doing?
I'm good. How is it on your side?
Pretty good.
Very good. Okay, can you see me and hear me? Okay, it's all good?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
All right, nice. So, Eric, let's start with a common. Just give me a background. Tell me what you have done in React, React.js, React Native, and uh, all the previous experiences, plus what is going on right now.
All right, sure. Well, from React, I have been working that for around 3 years, a little bit more than 3 years now. My latest experience was developing on Solana.org and .com sites. Those use Next.js and Web3 stuff. So I have been working that using reading in TypeScript. Um, about React Native, I haven't had from my previous contract opportunity to use my React Native skills. It's not mobile
Mm-hmm.
application, but I have written a couple um, MVPs with React Native, TypeScript, and Native Base as the UI library. Um,
Mm,
yeah,
okay.
with Expo. What else? Um, yeah, and currently I'm working on a well, it is a platform for learning tech for Spanish speakers, uh, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing that with Next.js on the front end, and I'm building the mobile application with React Native, um, and also the backend, but that with Nest.js, a Node.js framework. Yeah, I'm working on that currently, and also I'm taking like little gigs from freelancing jobs.
No, okay, nice. So what you're telling me is that you're most experienced in React.js and MVPs with React Native, Expo, Native Base, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, okay, what what do you use for the state management when you build React application?
Well, it depends on the complexity of the app. I like to keep
Mm-hmm.
it simple at the beginning, but uh, well, if the state management is like um, complex, like many components use the same information from many, um, and also if the UI has to be updated like um, interactively, I would go with Redux toolkit. But if I have to
Mm-hmm.
keep things simple, like for Solana.org, I use their the React well the context API um, because there was not much interactively. Um, it was
Mm-hmm.
application, so um, depending on the context.
So the Solana.org application, is it, what is the application? What did you build?
Oh well, a lot of
Is
it.
it
Mm, uh,
like
mhm.
the landing page? Is the landing page, right? And then,
um, well, many things. There are many like incentive programs for validators. Those are like the miners, but for Solana. Um,
mm-hmm.
and we had to like there are different kind of incentive programs, and um, well, they share like some user data, but uh, some different program specific data. So to not prop drill everything, we used the React context. So, but since it doesn't need to be like if they update this, they don't have like a nav bar where they show their um, I don't know username. So it didn't need Redux. So we used React context there.
Mm-hmm. And how how many people were working on this project, Solana.org?
We were three three people.
Mm. And the module, which module did you do? And you felt like, okay, I'll reframe it. Just tell me the most challenging module that you did in the last 6 months.
The
You
most
can just tell me if on the basis of React. Yeah.
the most challenging.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, well, lately I had been working there on the backend mostly, but let me recall. Well, one of the most challenging, like time-consuming, really, was to migrate from Gatsby to Next.js, um, and keep the bundle size small. We reduced.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I reduced that from like 2 megabytes to 700 kilobytes, so it was really good, and the performance improved.
How
hmm
how did you do that?
Well, mainly on installing packages and installing those that are ESM. Let me recall. Yeah, ES packages. So you only import what you need from that package. So it doesn't import all the package. Basically,
Mm-hmm.
the packages was the most heavy part in that.
Okay. So if I'll ask you three things that improves the performance. So if I give you a React app and I say, hey, improve the performance in this app. So what are the three strategies that you're going to use?
Oh,
Top
okay,
three.
okay. Well, first I would go with Lighthouse and see how is the site performing, and
Mm-hmm.
I would see that the tree map, see okay how much is the bundle size and where is the major area
Mm-hmm.
of opportunity. That would be one. Uh, Another one I would say, well, there's the performance on while using the app, so I would use Profiling for that, and we'll focus on the screens or pages that are more the most interactive. Uh, Review how that performs, and working from there. What else I can do? Mm, Let me remember. Oh yeah, well, and also it depends on the APIs that the site is using, like reduce the amount of
Mm-hmm.
calls. And for instance, in Next.js, we can get uh, the API information beforehand. So I would rather if we can build them, well, build all the pages on build time, I would go for that. If not, well, server side rendering would be the way to go, but I would prefer to go with the build time of the pages. I think those three would be
Mm.
my strategies.
Okay. So do you think static generation like Gatsby does is better or build time generation is better?
Hmm, Static or build. Well, I'm a little bit confused because I thought that those were the same, but uh,
Actually, they are, yeah.
uh okay, yeah. Well, yes.
Because static website generates when they're built the new code. Say, okay, good catch. Uh, oh, you do you also have experience with GraphQL?
Oh yeah. Um, I developed a minimal for an MVP GraphQL API with Ruby on Rails, just to learn Ruby on Rails really.
Mm.
Uh, and yeah, it is. I really like it. And also have used the storefront API from Shopify to build storefront sites
Mm.
with Next.js. I was planning to build a. Well, I'm planning actually to build a React Native Shopify I'm store within an app using the storefront API, but I'm just planning. haven't Haven't had the opportunity yet, but I'm planning to do so. Mm,
Okay, so when you get a new project, how do you plan it? What are the steps in planning a project?
okay. Um, well, it depends. If I'm in charge of the business side, um, I would do it, but it depends on the public. If like what we are going to build is like 70% of the public uses mobile for these kind of things, like social stuff, I would go, okay, let's focus on mobile. And after we set that focus on where to go first or where to go only, then it would be the architecture. For instance, well, my way to go for mobile applications is a GraphQL API because it is smaller, you know, calls and responses. Uh, that's my way to go. Um, Also, it depends the information how it is you know related. But recently, most of my let's go with PostgreSQL and Prisma. I think that's a really good how do you say tech stack. What else? And also the knowledge of my team, if they are proficient with some tools, or if they have the opportunity to learn quickly some tools, we can use them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, but when beginning a program, I always like to begin simple and over the course increase the complexity on demand. But either way, I think the design and the requirements always dictate how is the uh, app going to work. For instance, using Redux or just context, it depends on the application interactively. So it depends.
Mm-hmm. And how do you talk with the designers? Which tools are you comfortable in, and how do you get the things that you want from the designers?
Okay, well, I'm very comfortable and happy with Figma. Um, I
Mm-hmm.
also use Figma for my own project, so I feel very comfortable. I always respect their job. They are the designers. I only provide feedback. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and leave comments like if like sometimes designers don't have this idea like React Native. You know that we use Flexbox to basically to layout, and on website we use Flexbox Read or whatever. And sometimes they need
Mm-hmm.
feedback on those things, like to make the implementation and maintainability of the code easier. So I provide feedback on that. Mm, yeah, I think that's it with designers.
Nice. What about the CSS framework? Which one is your favorite?
Mm, it depends, but for MVPs, like that simple MVPs, I would go with Material UI if we are building on the web. Um, if we want flexibility um, and we have the budget, I would go with Tailwind. Um,
Mm-hmm.
what else?
Why
Also,
do you need a budget for Tailwind?
well, for instance, with Material UI, you can build like um, pages like really extremely quick. So
Mm-hmm.
with what will tell me, of course, you can build them, but instead of taking like I don't know um, dashboard with Material UI could take me around. Well, it depends on the complexity, but it could take me like 4 hours because I can track components from Material UI very easily. But with Tailwind, I would have to build them. It's like, well, CSS but classes, but it could take me like instead of 4 hours, 2 days. Depends on the complexity, of course, but so it depends.
So yeah, for dashboard and for clean design, you can just go with the Material UI, right?
Well, it depends really. If we want to ship like really quickly, I would go with Material UI.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Uh, that's good. If I'll ask you to rate yourself from 1 to 10 in React.js and in React Native, how much will you give yourself?
Hmm. Well, uh, I will rate myself in React to 7. Um, Mostly because there are new server components that I am not. I want to work with them and understand them better. But
Which one?
server components, so I don't understand them yet, really. But there's always room for improvement. And for React Native, I would say, mm, well, yeah, around 7 as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What is the most fun project that you have done?
Oh, yeah, that was there was this smart menu app where
Mm-hmm.
basically the API gathered all the information from Santa Barbara, which is a city from Los Angeles. I mean, from California, and
Mm-hmm.
basically I had to build this MVP. Like it was an MVP because it was really big, really. Within 1.5 months, and I had to learn quickly because it has so many interact interactions, and the UI was very rich. I decided to use Redux Toolkit, and I was worried like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
this is going to need something like Redux, and then I discovered Redux Toolkit, and I said, oh, this is amazing, and I learned Redux Toolkit really. I had to learn really quickly, and as well with Material UI, I had to learn
Mm-hmm.
those really quickly, and I feel proud because then that project feel was used for new developers to, okay, this is a project, this is a really like in a quality sort of code um, benchmark. My project was used like if you want to do something that you can reference to this project, and I was looking at that code. It is a almost 2 years old code, but it's still really consistent, and I don't know. I feel really proud. So I I feel like that one in the professional experience had been my most fun project.
Nice. Okay. So the next thing that you want to learn, top three next three things that you want to learn for your web development career or
Yeah,
mobile development career.
yeah. I want to learn AI. Like I have
Hmm.
been increasing a lot my productivity with ChatGPT, with AI tools for design, for marketing as well, and I really like how it is evolving like extremely quick. So AI, but I haven't had the opportunity to do that
Mm-hmm.
on professionally. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Another thing is to be better at designing. I my first like when I was 15 jobs, let's say, for IT was designing. I was really bad, but I now believe I can be better. But I have been learning many um, like Figma stuff and Framer to build websites quickly, and I think that I can do a very good job on web design for marketing and that kind of stuff. Mm, and also marketing, yeah. I like to that part of not only develop for get to the deadline or to the finish line. I would like to develop with the business in mind, and like marketing and sales is something that I'm excited to. I'm currently applying some techniques to convert more, um, you know, landings or visits on your site to actual clients. So I think that is really fascinating. So I do those three: AI, design, and um, and marketing.
That's great. Oh, that's good. So you'll be like a full stack product guy who can design, who can develop, and who can market. So I'm guessing you like working, taking the lead projects. If we give you a project, hey, there's the requirement, can you do it? And then you can figure it out. Okay, for design, maybe I need to buy a theme, or for design, maybe I'll just take a material design UI and then ask the designers to change the colors or whatever for the brand, right?
Well, it depends. Like, I would go for MVP development, like to go cheap and quick. But if you want an enterprise product, yeah, I would not be confident to do the design myself. But I am confident to provide enough feedback to designers or the design team to actually ship a good product.
Yeah, but we do like to ship fast and we do like to ship reasonably good
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
products because, like you said, first the MVP, then we test it, and then we build the full scale ones. But the MVP still has to look good.
Yeah, yeah, that I feel comfortable making the MVP
Mm,
look really good.
okay, that's great. And what? How do you like to work? What is your work ethic, and how do you like to communicate and keep updates? Just the workflow.
Okay. Um, the way I like to work is well to always keep the communication open. Like on remote jobs, I like to give my daily updates on what I'm doing, what I'm going to do, what are my blockers, um, if I need something from somebody else, so I can move forward. I focus on the priorities first. Like if I'm blocking
Mm-hmm.
someone, um, let's priority that task for instance code review or give feedback to designers or anyone really. um, in my work ethics, yeah, I like to build things that actually work. For instance,
Mm-hmm.
this MVP that I built, like I'm pretty proud of. I was worried that there this was an MVP, but the project was like 1 year long and they didn't have a single user, and I was like, you haven't had a single user within a year of development. And I was like worried because okay, where else where are you getting the money from? So but you know that kind of stuff, like my work ethics also, we are here to make business still, so I also get worried about like the whole picture, if these are actually going to be profitable for the organization. At the end it was because he sold the application, but
Mm-hmm.
um, I think those are my work ethics, like to actually make sustainable products.
Great. And if you need to work on experimentation products, that's something that you have never done before. It's a little bit challenging.
That
How do you feel?
feels
Do you like the challenge, or do you feel frustrated?
no,
How do you feel?
I like the challenges. I really like them. I see them as an opportunity to grow, to learn new stuff.
Nice.
So
Hmm.
I like them. Yeah, and now I feel more confident with ChatGPT. I feel like the better prompts I'm writing, I feel like
Hmm.
I am having a senior developer of whatever I want here on my chat.
Wow.
So
Mm.
I feel more confident now.
Mm. Have you ever worked with creative programming, like
Uh,
3JS,
no, well,
HTML5, Canvas?
I had one uncompleted project for Solana.org where we wanted to show many metrics for the validators, the managers of there. I did the backend, the API, and they didn't have enough budget for the front end. So I only learned a bare minimum graphic stuff, but I still um,
What did you learn?
well, for the front end, I cannot remember the library I used at the end, but I had to review many React.js libraries for graphic, and the one that fits better to the needs I use that. But I only learned to manipulate the data and like to get the data from the API, then manipulate it. Well, basically format the data so it can be easily read from the graphics, and that's all that I did. I couldn't complete that project because of the budget.
Okay. Did you ever do you have any experience with charts
Mm-hmm.
in the dashboard? You said that if you're building a dashboard, in the analytics page, you will have different charts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pie chart, bar chart, histograms. Did you ever use it in any projects?
Um, well, I would say I want to say that I used, but all my metrics that I use are like that simple for my MVPs. But I haven't had
Hmm.
like even the idea to use a graphic, well, a chart really. So I cannot say that, but I'm feeling excited if I have to do that.
Okay, cool. Okay, so one thing, I'll show you a UI
Mm-hmm.
now, and then I'll ask you to give me an estimate. What do you think about it, right? If I give it to build it to you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just share my screen. Okay. Can you see my screen?
It is loading. Yeah, now I can see it.
Cool. So you already know what this is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we have two screens. The first one, it has a sidebar, and then it has a grid, which is a list of videos, thumbnail, name of the file, and a classifier. There are 3 rows. It's infinite, actually. It's like an infinite list. Okay. And then we have this page. So this is, you can imagine this is YouTube. These are different videos and these are the thumbnails. When you click on one thumbnail, then it will open a new screen, which is a video editing screen, right? Here you will load the video in this frame, and then you will build a slider, a seekbar to trim the video.
Mm,
It's like a video editing. If you have used any video editing software, or if you have used maybe QuickTime, you know,
mm-hmm.
even in QuickTime. So you you need to, basically what I'm asking is this module where you load the video, you can play the video, and you can load the frames on the timeline, and then you can move the seek bar window and select start and end time, and then trim it, save it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hmm. Well, the first one I would say that's the easiest. Um,
Mhm.
mm, Only for desktop, right? Or
Yeah, for desktop.
okay. Mm,
And if I have to show you, just a second. So the UI would actually look like this when you go to QuickTime. You have a Mac?
No, I have a Windows.
So how then how do you develop React Native iOS application?
Well, I like to work more on Windows. I do also have a MacBook, but when I'm
Mm-hmm.
not working on React Native, I just prefer Windows.
And that's great. But you still have a MacBook for
Mm-hmm.
React Native, right? Mm. Okay. So if you open the QuickTime in your MacBook and you go and trim the video, you'll get a UI like this. So what it does is that it takes the video and it takes frames. It will distribute the whole video timeline into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in this video, it is made like 8 frames, and you can see the preview of different frames. So here the train is at this position, and here it's going now out of this camera, right? And this is how it works. Whenever you move it, the main video also moves, so you get a preview of the video. So, so it has these components. One is the start seek bar, another one is this end seek bar, and the third one is this, which you see a red line and you can move it. This is basically just for preview. And then you create like this and this, and you click on trim, so it will trim it to 3 seconds that you can save it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if I,
Okay.
so the yeah, so this is what I want you to build, and if this is the UI, you don't have to worry about these extra components, but only load a video, play a video, have the some kind of a seek bar, and trim it,
Mm-hmm.
something like that.
Okay.
So yeah,
Let me just view the details.
that's okay. Or maybe I can share this with you, and you can just come back how we will do it.
No,
You don't
if
have to
you share me,
do.
just I just wanted to see all the details about uh,
Mhm.
seconds. Okay. Okay.
It doesn't have to be exactly like this. It can be like the QuickTime as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you just need a component for start and end, and they will be moving. You need to generate the frames, and you need a seek bar for preview.
Okay. All right. For okay, for the first one, I would go with the best, well, from 3 to up to 6 hours, depending on the feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and on the second one, well, you don't we can reutilize the components for the sidebar, the top bar. Only the video is the new stuff. That one, I would say like for up to 8 hours. I have not like because you have when you move it, you also have to show the video on that frame. So I'm not sure how to do
Mm-hmm.
that. So I
Yeah.
just want to take extra caution to do that. It's just my only concern. I think that there's going to be an API or something to actually trim the video, but I'm ignoring that. But I would say like 4 up to 8 hours for this one.
For the UI, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if I'll ask you to research on how you're gonna do it, the tech, not the API, the front end tech, which library to use and what are the steps. How do you edit a video in a React or in a web page use built on React JS?
Mm, well,
This is something that you don't know because you have not worked on it, right?
mm-hmm.
But you can research on this if you can just tell me briefly, and then you can update the estimate that you set for to 8 hours or 6 hours, right?
For the second part, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what would I do? Well, I would search for examples. Well, first I would ask ChatGPT, but I would. I only need to validate that change of framing, change of frame of the video. I only need to validate
Mhm.
that really. And the bar is like simple. Mm,
So you need to first extract the frames from the video and then put it in the bar, and then you need to create the bar and whatever call that you need to make to cut the video using any library or whatever you can find. These are the components of that. So you just make a web page, you load the video from any HTTPS web host, and then you trim it. Right?
okay. Yeah, that's I didn't consider that. Well, put the images in the bar. Yeah, that's a good question. Well, I would need to search for that. Um, what else? And that's
That's
it.
it. I know you said without the functionality, if you need to make the UI, you can do it in 8 hours. But the functionality you don't know yet. That's okay because it's not your expertise, right? It's not simple. So uh, the first one you already told me.
Mm-hmm.
The first one has a sidebar, and then you need to generate the grid, the thumbnail of the videos, right? Infinite pagination, and when you click on the video, then the new page will open up, which has the editor,
Mm-hmm.
right? Hmm. Okay. Okay. So can you do this one thing? Can you take one day and do research on how to do the video part and then update me? Okay, now that I know this is the estimate.
Okay. I think that I answered the question. Yes, I can do it.
Oh, great. That's nice. But this is kind of preview that we will be working on. We'll be working on experimentation things. We'll be working on, okay, you need to research. Of course, I'll be there to guide whenever I'm there. But there's also a thing that you would be leading the project by yourself. And you can decide, hey, this is what I need. I need a team, or I need graphics, or I need this, and whatever. So you can take the calls. There will be always someone to assist you. But it is a fast paced and you need to be ready to take ownership. That's all we need. We need teammates who can take ownership, who can do research, and who can tell us, okay, this is what we need and this is how I'm going to make it. And then we can all, obviously we will brainstorm and we'll put in more ideas before starting if needed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you like this kind of working environment, right?
Yeah, I feel where I take ownership is they do my best job.
Yeah, because I also sense that you want to have that experience of building the whole products, the design, the development, the marketing, and sales. So that's a great experience to have.
Yeah, thank you. That sounds great.
Mm, yeah. And what about the blockchain? One thing, blockchain experience. Uh, how much blockchain experience do you have, and how did you use it for the Solana? Which library did you use?
Yeah,
How did you handle RPC calls? Or what kind of wallets?
yeah. For Solana, for this project that I had to build the API for the metrics, I had to use the Solana SDK. So there was like many RPC calls. Um, yeah, I had to see like which wallets are active, which wallets are like well really pubkeys were active, were doing a good job because depending on the good job or bad job they do, get paid more or less. Um, yeah, I've running a bunch of scripts with that, but I haven't like I haven't had well I didn't have the opportunity to write anything on the blockchain. Um, so Rust experience I only have done a minimal REST API just to see how it works, but I cannot say that I have actual experience of building something on the blockchain. So I only interacted with the
Mm.
blockchain, but not pushed any code into the blockchain.
How did you interact with the blockchain?
Yeah, with the Solana Web3 SDK.
Hmm, directly. And the wallet support, did you integrate any wallet as well?
I had a side project where I was trying to integrate the Solana Phantom wallet, um, and you know, just like local transactions, and but I didn't finish that project. It was really hard. Well, the that the guide that I followed was not updated. There was many errors. I got frustrated.
Hmm.
So and any there was no one to ask, or so I decided to let's move forward. I haven't had actual experience on building anything on the blockchain.
Hmm. And just Solana, right? Not Ethereum or any other chains.
No, not really.
Hmm. What about your interest on the blockchain side of things?
Hmm. Well, I think it's interesting. I like the decentralized kind of things. Um, because that, well, if you talk in a political thing, you know that
Hmm.
governments can freeze your bank account. That feels unfair. In the blockchain, they nobody can do that. I like that. Um, just that, well, my only concern really is with the cryptocurrencies, like the
Hmm.
the crashes they have been experienced since the Bitcoin fall. I'm like, I'm not sure. It's just that um like Solana, that this one I monitor that it has been going up and down, but it is kind of stable. So I'm like, okay, if you build something for cryptocurrencies, um, it's kind of I don't like it that much because it is like if you have a lot of money and it crashes, you lose a lot of money. But if you use that technology itself to I don't know to keep more things more secure, to keep privacy, to keep
Hmm.
all the benefits. I think that's amazing. So yeah, I like the technology, but there are a lot of scammers and within the cryptocurrency world. So I don't like that part, but I like the technology itself.
Yeah, good. And one last question. How do you stay updated with the tech? What are your top three daily learning rituals, or how do you stay updated with
Daily.
React? Especially what your skill is right now, the React frontend and other tech. Yes.
Oh yeah, well I would say React and Next.js is what I really love to do. Also the backend with Node.js. Uh, I like the test-driven development methodology. Well, especially it depends on the complexity of the project, but if you cannot like reproduce stuff easily, test-driven development is the way to go. I really like that. Um, React Native, I really like React Native, but if I'm honest with you, I haven't had the opportunity to have I mean um professional experience. I have well, there was one project that they required me to just settle the architecture, but that's it with React Native. But I didn't need me on another more important project, so I had I was excited to get professional experience in that, but I had to, business is business, so the most important client is priority, which was Solana. So yeah, I think those three are my biggest strengths.
Mm, okay. And where do you go to learn about the new tech? What's new in React? What's new in React Native? The interest that you have? Where do you learn from?
Yeah. Well, mostly YouTubers. They are now on TikTok and Instagram, but mostly on YouTube is where I Um, I don't know if you know Fireship, but this is a YouTuber that always follows the new trends and like Bond, the new manager. I wouldn't use that on a production um, project, but it is faster. Like also he introduced PMPM, uh,
Mm-hmm.
so I really like that idea, but there are some inconsistencies with projects like they don't support this PMPM, so I wouldn't use it for production still. So
Mm.
mm, because I had some, it's just that I like to with keep up with the trends, but for production projects I like to be more conservative. But for personal projects, I would say just let's go, and I can learn. But yeah, mostly YouTubers I keep updated with them.
Okay, sounds good. So, okay, so that's great. Thank you for your time, Eric. And how how can I share you with that design? So you can just, do you need me to share the design or something or a screenshot?
Yeah, sharing the design would be amazing, really.
Okay, just give me a moment. For the first one, it's okay. We don't really need it. And for the second one, it's mostly
Mm-hmm.
just a second. Okay, you can you check if you have access to the link?
Mm-hmm. Let me see.
Can you open it?
Yeah, I just opened it. Okay, I can see that. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Cool.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Any questions that you want to ask, Eric?
Well, I was intrigued by the about message you guys have in your on your website. Like
Mm-hmm.
this centralized and AI driven, some sort of that. But I was confused because blockchain is decentralized, but if you also want to centralize, it's just that it make me feel what is this going, what is this about? Let me just read the message, but um, well, uh, mostly, how do you use artificial intelligence?
Oh, yeah. So we are just, like I told you, the most of the products that we use will be experimental, right? Even the one that I showed you right now, it will, we will use it in the future. We will put some AI into it. So all the projects that we built or the ideas that we build the products around are on either on blockchain and now also on AI.
Oh, okay. Hmm. And how do you? Well, um, you well, how do you say commerce? You guys say that you focus on commerce, but how do you use blockchain on commerce? Which
So yeah, there's this idea of using a blockchain product idea that Richard is the owner, company owner, he has. So he wants to use it with Shopify, like a plugin. So we can onboard a lot of Web 2.0 users to Shopify, basically on the blockchain front. So that's how the e-commerce on the blockchain integration will be done, probably through Shopify. So that's why it's good that you have a little bit of experience in Shopify. I think 6 months or something. Yeah. So on the e-commerce side of the things, the whole what company does is it works on the creator ecosystem. The creators ecosystem. And what do creators need? They need content which is related to AI and blockchain. They need merchandise and store. So that's the e-commerce thing. And then you have the decentralization, the ownership, the NFTs or the keys and passes, which is the blockchain part. And we want to use AI, like LLMs and all, to train models to solve problems related to these ecosystem.
Hmm. Okay,
So
nice.
there's not just one product, there are a bunch of products all in experiments and MVP and different stages, but they're all related to the creators economy with the blockchain side as well, and now on the AI side as well, because AI is relatively new. AI democratization is just this year after they opened OpenAI and the LLMs now. So now we're trying to use AI as well in the products where they apply,
Mm-hmm.
right? Not just force into it. And the thing is that it's not going anywhere. AI is going to affect every part, whether it's e-commerce, whether it's creator, whether it's a video, whether it's audio. There will be AI for everything, right?
Yeah.
So we just want to be prepared that whatever we are building in our ecosystem, we can take advantage of the AI wave as well,
All
like
right.
with the blockchain one. So blockchain provides the decentralization, blockchain provides the permissionless, it provides the power. We don't want to create a cryptocurrency, we just want to create a decentralized platform that everyone can have ownership. And that's something which is the idea, which is the vision, right?
Mm-hmm. All right.
And how we do it is just by building
Yeah.
on these
Yeah, really.
technologies.
I like that. All
Okay.
right.
Hmm.
Awesome.
Any other question you have?
I think, well, also another thing, I was researching more about this Blackbird development group, but I couldn't find a lot of information. But can you tell me just like 10 seconds? Are you guys a company? Are you guys just a group, or what is this about?
No, it's a company. It's Richard is the owner of the company, and he has distributed teams working on different products. Like I told you, right? Different
Mm-hmm.
products, different leads. They take the ownership. So Richard is the owner, and then he has some ideas, and then he has different teams working on these ideas, and
Oh,
also cross functional teams. That if someone requires front end help, and if other person is free, then you can work on that project. If you need blockchain guidance, the person can give you the uh, how do you say, the guidance and the resources. So, but the core is that you're part of a team or you're working solo, whatever idea that you're working on, and you take the ownership, and you can just let us know whatever you need, and then just take it from there.
all right. Awesome. Okay, now it's clear.
So yeah, so it's a lot of ownership, a lot of execution.
Mm-hmm. All right, sounds great. Awesome. So just one last thing.
Mm.
Uh, I'm going to research on this you know video thing and just give you the more reliable estimate, and
Hmm.
you need the tools or whatever I'm going to do, or just the time.
Yeah, just no. Also, the how you're gonna do it,
Okay.
which library you're going to use, you know, whatever you feel like, and then
Okay, okay, sounds good. Awesome. I think that's it.
okay.
All right. Well,
And I will let Shepherd also know, the team from Shepherd. And if you need anything, I don't know if you have the email, but they can provide you whatever you need. if you want to communicate with them. Okay,
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you a lot, Aiden.
awesome.
See you.
Thank you, Eric. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye bye.